What's good people? Now listen, I already know that it's a foregone conclusion within the MMA world amongst MMA fans that Ilia Topuria will most likely walk down Charles Oliveira and knock him out. I mean, Ilia Topuria is the dude who pointed to the center of the octagon at the beginning of his match against Max Holloway, and Max did not want that smoke. Max said, I am the El Matador and you're the bull, and you have to come and I have to be the strategically smart one. This is the dude we're talking about. This is the dude who knocked out Volkanovski. And a lot of people feel as though Charles is chinny. We've seen Charles get dropped. We've seen Charles get rocked. So if a dude who can knock out Max Holloway is getting in there with Charles Oliveira, surely the most likely conclusion is that Charles Oliveira gets knocked out. In fact, Max Holloway beat Charles Oliveira. But I am here to play devil's advocate, okay? This is the lightweight division. This is not the featherweight division. I know Ilia Topuria has a finish in the lightweight division. I know Ilia Topuria has fought in the lightweight division. I know he walks around at about 108 to 190 pounds. But listen for 2 seconds, okay? Charles Oliveira is that dude. Every time we count out Charles Oliveira, he shakes the world. He surprises us. Let's go back to the first fight. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. The whole world was ready to take out the red carpets for Mike Chandler. It was essentially a foregone conclusion that Michael Chandler, the new American hope, was going to be the lightweight champion, and then maybe Dana White could persuade Khabib to come out of retirement because Michael Chandler took his belt. But Charles said, nah, I am him. I am taking this belt from Michael Chandler, even though I am the underdog. And then who do we give Charles Oliveira next? We give him Dustin Poirier. Not just any Dustin Poirier, the Dustin Poirier who came out of changing his life, making millions from the Conor McGregor trilogy. A Dustin Poirier with so much confidence. A Dustin Poirier who said, you're not Khabib, so I'm taking that belt. And Charles Oliveira said what? Still as an underdog, he said, nah, this is my belt. And then who do we throw at him? Justin Gaethje. The whole world felt as though, listen, Justin Gaethje is overdue now. He was an interim champion, just like Dustin Poirier. He has knockout power. He has anti-wrestling. He won't make the mistake that Dustin Poirier made when he was in a scramble with Charles Oliveira. He will get his belt. What did Charles Oliveira do? He said the champion has a name. So the point I'm trying to make here, I'm not going to use any tactical or technical analysis of how Charles can approach it or how Ilia is going to walk him down or whatever it is, who has the better striking, who has the better jiu-jitsu, the better wrestling. What I'm trying to say is that when Charles Oliveira is underrated, when he's the underdog, he comes out and he shines the most. That is where we get Charles Oliveira. The champ has a name, Charles Oliveira. And listen, many of you could say that this is the heart speaking, and the brain will surely understand that this is Ilia's fight to lose. Everything seems to be in Ilia's favor, but that's the brilliance of Charles Oliveira. When in his title fights, except against Islam Makhachev, who's just different, but when in his title fights, when he was the underdog, did things ever go logically? When did they ever make logical sense? Michael Chandler dropped him and nearly had him finished in the first round. Charles Oliveira flipped that. Dustin Poirier had him shaking. Charles Oliveira flipped that. So who's to say that Ilia Topuria might be feeling confident, feeling like I've got Greco wrestling that's better than Charles Oliveira. I want to take him down just to prove that I am him. He takes him down and Charles catches him with that submission, because every fight of Charles, there's always that threat of a submission. And when it's a title fight, Charles will make it count. Charles just needs one opportunity, one window to enter. That is all he needs. And that is why I feel as though many people are overlooking Charles Oliveira, and Charles Oliveira might just surprise the world. He might just shock the world. He might just ruin the plans of the UFC. And maybe this one time our hearts will actually be correct. Therefore, Charles Oliveira will win by submission. I do not know what submission he's gonna go for, but I feel like Charles has to do it, man. This is Charles. Charles is he's him, man. He's so calm. He's such a brother. Everything about Charles is so relatable. You see him on the embedded vlogs complaining about the price of grocery. You see him going and praying for Pantoja. How can you not root for this dude? But at the same time, Ilia Topuria is good for business, man. Ilia Topuria is him. Having him as the boogeyman of the lightweight division after Islam Makhachev moved up, ooh, that wouldn't look good, man. That wouldn't look good for Islam Makhachev. You have to come back down just to prove that you weren't afraid of him, especially if he knocks out and finishes Charles Oliveira in even more impressive fashion than Islam did. And then he goes out and maybe finishes someone like Armin Tsarukyan. Oh, come on, that's kind of scary. That would be scary. But yeah, I don't know. Charles might just do it.